Les Wexner. Victoria's Secret has a secret.
Heavy one.
Billionaire Les Wexner telling the House Oversight Committee he was naive, foolish, and gullible to put any trust in Jeffrey Epstein, and while I was conned, I have done nothing wrong and have nothing to hide, according to his planned remarks, and saying he never saw Epstein act inappropriately. The founder of the business empire that included Victoria's Secret and Abercrombie Fitch, Wexner played a vital role in transforming Epstein into a financial advisor with ties to the ultra-wealthy. For 16 years, Epstein even held power of attorney over Wexner's vast personal fortune.
Because it looks like there will be no e-files if there was no Les Wexner.
In a more than 6-hour behind-closed-doors deposition from his sprawling Ohio compound, Wexner admitting he did once travel to Epstein's private island, but maintaining to lawmakers that he never spoke with Epstein again after 2007 amid learning of Epstein's first criminal investigation for sex crimes and after discovering Epstein stole vast sums of money from Wexner.
Can you feel the vibe?
I'm feeling it.
It's JEJE Vibe.
It's JEJE VIBE.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to JEJE Vibe.
Well, bye.
You know I got my amazing, beautiful queen with
Thanks,
me.
my love, the amazing host.
So Lewis and Gabriel, if you're new to the channel, what are you waiting for? Hit the like and subscribe. Where else would you rather be? You know it's JEJE Vibe. You know we're here to give you the vibe.
As always.
So we got to talk about Les Wexner.
God must have a great sense of humor if he can make, this kid from Columbus, Ohio, so successful.
That's Leslie Wexner. He built an empire on fast fashion brands like Victoria's Secret, Bath & Body Works, and Abercrombie Fitch. The billionaire Midwesterner loves turning cornfields into country clubs. And by his own account, he's got more money than he knows what to do with. And who better to manage such a massive fortune at the height of his success than Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell's boyfriend turned convicted pedophile.
Victoria's Secret has a secret.
Heavy one.
The CEO of Victoria's Secrets. You don't know Victoria's Secrets. I don't know what planet you're on.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't, do your simple research on your simple Google and just Google it. Google it.
They sell women panties now. And bras.
Yo, some sexy lingerie.
Panties and bra.
Yo, Les Wexner has given us some of the biggest nights in modeling history.
Mm-hmm.
Victoria's Secret, the parade, you know how it looks like.
And they always have their annual fashion show now, the Angels.
That is Les Wexner. This guy is the man behind, or not even behind, this is right there in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
Victoria's Secrets. And from what we've been seeing from the e-files, it's clear that Victoria's Secret has got a lot of secrets.
Mm-hmm. On the Epstein teens.
This is a deposition of Mr. Leslie H. Wexner conducted by the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform. You are required by law to answer questions from Congress truthfully. This also applies to questions posed by congressional staff in this deposition. Do you understand?
Yes.
If at any time you knowingly make false statements, you could be subject to criminal prosecution, including but not limited to perjury. Do you understand?
Yes.
This includes both knowingly providing false testimony, but also stating that you do not recall or remember something when in fact you do. Do you understand?
Yes, of course.
Furthermore, you cannot tell half-truths or exclude information necessary to make the statements accurate. You are required to provide all information that would make your response truthful. A deliberate failure to disclose information can constitute a false statement. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because it looks like there will be no e-files if there was no Les Wexner.
Yep.
Just like he's behind Victoria's Secrets and also in front of Victoria's Secrets. That's how he is in front and behind e-files.
Victoria's Secret got an extra secrets.
Everything we know about Les Wexner in the Epstein files. On February 18th, the U.S. House Oversight Committee questioned retail mogul Leslie Wexner about his relationship with sex offender and disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. The deposition, which was moved from Washington, D.C. to Wexner's home state of Ohio, came days after members of Congress, Representatives Thomas Massey of Kentucky and Ro Khanna of California, compelled the Justice Department to reveal Wexner's then-redacted identity in an internal FBI document that had been among the millions released in January. The FBI document labeled Wexner a co-conspirator to Epstein along with Leslie Groff, Ghislaine Maxwell, Jean-Luc Brunel, Karina Shuliak, and 4 others whose names remained redacted. The document appears to be tied to the child sex trafficking charges against Epstein and possibly the investigation into his death. In 2019, the assistant U.S. attorney told Wexner's legal counsel that he was, quote, neither a co-conspirator nor a target in any respect. This, according to a spokesperson for Wexner. That came after Wexner provided background information on Epstein. Wexner's spokesperson says Wexner was never contacted again.
Victoria's Secret got an extra secrets.
He funded the whole empire of the e-files.
Mm-hmm.
Long known as an associate of Epstein, Wexner, Ohio's wealthiest man, worth $9 billion, claims to have cut ties to him by 2008, and for years has denied any knowledge of Epstein's offenses. He has not been charged with the crime. An 86-page investigative memorandum, prepared by New York federal prosecutors from 2019, that was part of the most recently released Epstein files, includes 2 pages that describe a meeting with Wexner's attorneys, in which the entrepreneur's lawyers claimed Epstein had stolen or misappropriated, quote, several $100 million from Wexner over the years. The memo mentioned other billionaires allegedly being serviced by underage girls, but not Wexner. There was also an independent review conducted by the Wexner Foundation in 2020, detailing Epstein's involvement with the foundation. In an open letter in 2019 on his foundation's website, Wexner said, quote, this was frankly a tremendous shock, even though it clearly pales in comparison to the unthinkable allegations against him now. The misappropriated funds, at least an estimated $200 million over the years, Wexner said, were siphoned away gradually as Epstein grabbed control over Wexner's personal finances, quote, with virtually no oversight, as stated in the memo. This amount of money was not insignificant even for the billionaire founder of L Brands, who was worth an estimated $1.7 billion in 2008. The memo noted that Epstein returned $100 million back to Wexner in January that year, and marked the last time Wexner claims he had contact with Epstein. Despite Wexner's efforts to distance himself from Epstein, his relatively low profile in recent years, and claims that the relationship was, quote, more professional than social, per the memo, the most recent batch of files has once again resurfaced the extent of their shared history. Wexner's name now appears more than 1,300 times in the DOJ's Epstein library, frequently within emails, interviews, and lawsuits dating far after 2008. As first reported by the New York Times, the newest files show an undated draft of a letter to, quote, Les, from Epstein, quote, I have never once, not once, done anything but protect your interests. I owe a great debt to you, as frankly you owe to me. You and I had gang stuff for over 15 years. A spokesperson for Wexner says that the undated draft note was never received by Wexner. Wexner has been known as a primary source for Epstein's money and power. In a released transcript from 2020, Epstein's former IT contractor told FBI agents that, quote, Les Wexner was always number one speed dial on all of Epstein's phones.
So if they're saying follow the money, this is the guy that gave this man, this evil man, funded his craziness. And here it is, telling us what we should know and what he think we should know.
They must really think we're stupid.
Oh my God.
I never would have guessed I was being conned. Never, ever. The deceit was so subtle. Yes, I know.
Answer the question.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure we all appreciate the stories. We're just trying to answer the questions they actually wanted the answers to.
That's very helpful. Thank you.
I hope it is.
And could I ask you, I think you said in the last hour it was your understanding that Mr. Epstein, while he was working for you, also had other clients. Is that right?
Yes.
So would that mean that his work for you, you understood it to be part-time?
I wouldn't describe it that way. You know, I knew it wasn't I thought it wasn't full-time because he had other clients of substance, real substance.
As a listener, it sounds like substantial demands that you're describing. You were, and of course are, one of the wealthiest people in the country, managing all of your personal affairs. I would think would typically demand all of somebody's bandwidth. It sounds like that was an issue with the guy before Epstein. How was he able to do that job, but also do work for other clients at the same time?
Well, like Peg does the work now. I think you could supervise the work, overview it, which isn't the work that I do.
It's beginning to look like the law is not going after the people that are on top.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like there's a different set of rules to the game when it comes to the different places. So
nobody is above the law now. If there's a law, if there are a bunch of laws guarding a particular country or some surroundings or some whatever, nobody should be above it.
Why would you want to be above the law?
Being above the law means you're below the law now.
And according to the Limited's former security chief, Jerry Merritt, Wexner once told him, "I got more money than I can ever spend." That seems like a problem most people would like to have. Of course, when you're the 6th richest person in the country, you want trustworthy and experienced people in your corner. That must be why, in 1989, Wexner asked Harold Levin to meet with a young financier named Jeffrey Epstein on his next trip to New York. Levin agreed, but quickly identified Epstein as a fraud. Levin told Vanity Fair, Epstein was trying to explain a currency trade he wanted to do. I have an MBA from Ohio State, and I didn't understand a word the man said. According to Levin, Epstein didn't even have a computer on his desk. He discouraged Wexner from doing the trade. But Levin didn't realize how much sway Epstein already had over his boss and his massive fortune. Within a few months of their New York meeting, Epstein showed up in Columbus and announced to Levin that Wexner had put him in charge of his finances. Levin decided to quit. In 1991, Wexner granted Epstein full power of attorney, meaning he could legally sign Wexner's name to any document. Epstein also became co-president of the New Albany Company, despite the fact that Epstein contributed relatively little money to the development project. And according to the New York Times, a Wexner-owned mansion that was being built in New Albany for Jack Kessler suddenly became Epstein's in 1992. Epstein and Wexner's relationship blurred the lines between personal and professional.
Why would you want to be above the law? But it looks like this elites, so-called elites, they feel like they're above the law. There's a different set of rules for them. Like the rules don't apply to us. We can do bullshit, evil, crazy. Like there's so many articles, or there's an article written about Les Wexner where he talks about him being possessed by a demon.
What's so crazy too about him being so focused on basically taking control of the leadership of the Jewish American community by basically having it filled with people that he has trained and views that he agrees with, or policies or whatever, is that Wexner in 1985 basically is like, yeah, I'm possessed by a demon that tells me what to do. And I have a split personality, and my the nice part of me is stunted, and I'm controlled by like this demon that tells me what to. He uses a Yiddish word that literally means demon. It's debuk, I think is how it's pronounced.
Debuk, which is actually COVID backwards, right?
I've heard that. I don't really. I haven't looked into that, but anyway, in the case of Wexner, that's the word he chooses. There's a lot of words he could have picked in Yiddish that sounded nicer, but he wanted to brag about basically being a demon-possessed crazy guy. And who was he catering to there? That's in New York Magazine, and so that's a segment I put out from the book already. But when you look at it in the context of a guy that's per the Jewish faith, saying that he's possessed by using the word that in the Jewish faith means like a demon possession, and he's like, yes, my demon controls me.
See, I'll keep going back to this. As much as some people think that they are above a certain law that guides a certain country, it doesn't mean that you do not know what's good from what's bad. We all have sense of that as humans.
Like somehow there's something in you that has to, because if it's hard for you guys to admit your relationship with this guy, then I think that's the first sign to show that whatever you guys were doing,
you were very conscious of what you're doing.
So if it's not something
you chose to, it's a choice.
It's not something that you're proud of to say it in public.
Because you're fully aware of what you did. And you know that what you did is wrong. That's why I say that we all have that sense of good and what's good and what's bad. Forgetting about the law guiding a certain society or country or township or whatever. Now.
Facts.
Put that dude into the position as CEO. That was Leslie Wexner's dude. And he becomes the CEO, and he's gay, and he likes really hot young male models. And he started running a male sex trafficking ring out of Abercrombie Fitch. So Leslie Wexner, this dude who is a self-proclaimed possessed by a demon.
Les Wexner.
If you think that what you do is good, why don't you just stand by it?
Stand by it.
And stop hiding behind the secrets now.
Behind the Victoria's Secret. Victoria's Secret got a secret.
Are you aware of how Mr. Epstein would have been able to attend Victoria's Secret's events if not invited by you?
I would presume he would have called somebody in the business and said, could I come? Could I get a ticket? I know that we were, for business reasons, very careful about the audience that was there, and about, I would guess, 2/3 of the audience were employees, store managers, people that had done heroic things inside the brand, because it was a big company event. And all the CEOs of all the companies in the company were invited. And so the people that were outside the company wasn't what I was concerned about. I was more concerned about internally that people came. that should come or were at least invited, because if not, it would have been like the right thing to do. So. No. My answer is, I really don't know.
Victoria's Secret got a secret.
This one's fire.
This is the man that told Victoria's Secrets to the E-Files. He took Victoria's Secrets to the E-Files. He funded the whole E-Files.
Are you aware of Jeffrey Epstein having any other contacts within Victoria's Secret specifically? Executives or anyone of that such?
I'm sure he knew people or would reach out to people in the business, but I don't know.
Did you ever make executives at Victoria's Secret aware that you would prevent Mr. Epstein from coming to any fashion shows or around any models?
Not that I recall.
Are you aware of Mr. Epstein bringing any women to Victoria's Secret to potentially model for Victoria's Secret?
No.
There will be no E-Files without Victoria's Secrets.
Do you know who Jean-Luc Brunel is?
Never heard of him.
Did you ever take a recommendation from Mr. Epstein or Miss Maxwell about hiring young women or girls for any of your companies or subsidiaries thereof?
No.
Did Mr. Epstein ever suggest to you that he could find models on your behalf for Victoria's Secret?
No. Did you ever consider cutting ties with Mr. Epstein, professionally or personally, after he was caught lying that he was a scout for Victoria's Secret? I guess the answer would be, if I thought he was, I would have fired him.
There will be no E-Files without Victoria's Secrets. And by the time we now start to look into it,
You know what comes to my mind is that. So what happened to the people buying the panties and the bras too? Are they funding the E-Files too? Ooh. I don't want to say it.
okay, now. We have to take a break and let you guys think about it. If you were funding the founder, and the founder was funding E-Files, who is funding the founder?
Billionaire Les Wexner telling the House Oversight Committee he was naive, foolish, and gullible to put any trust in Jeffrey Epstein, and while I was conned, I have done nothing wrong and have nothing to hide, according to his planned remarks, and saying he never saw Epstein act inappropriately. The founder of the business empire that included Victoria's Secret and Abercrombie & Fitch, Wexner played a vital role in transforming Epstein into a financial advisor with ties to the ultra-wealthy. For 16 years, Epstein even held power of attorney over Wexner's vast personal fortune. In a more than 6-hour behind-closed-doors deposition from his sprawling Ohio compound, Wexner admitting he did once travel to Epstein's private island, but maintaining to lawmakers that he never spoke with Epstein again after 2007 amid learning of Epstein's first criminal investigation for sex crimes and after discovering Epstein stole vast sums of money from Wexner.
Man. Somehow, We're all involved.
But hey, here is what I would say. If we say somehow we are all involved as humans, the consumer consuming the bad deeds of other people. Hey,
because the same thing we could also say when it comes to Microsoft now, using Microsoft and funding the whole the founder of Microsoft too is also part of the files. So it's like we're all in it. Somehow we've all.
No, I would not say we're all in it. I would say that they roped.
Hi.
And now we are suffering the consequences of their own actions.
This is crazy.
In the more than 3 million pages of the Justice Department's Epstein files, Wexner's name appears hundreds of times, including initially listed as a possible co-conspirator. Though the DOJ later determined there was limited evidence regarding his involvement. A legal representative for Wexner previously told ABC News federal prosecutors informed his lawyers in 2019 that Mr. Wexner was neither a co-conspirator nor target in any respect. Committee Democrats accusing Wexner of trying to downplay his once close relationship with Epstein.
The more this deposition goes on, the less Wexner knows about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
And saying the billionaire told the committee he has never been questioned by the FBI.
There is no single person that was more involved in providing Jeffrey Epstein with the financial support to commit his crimes than Les Wexner.
Annie Farmer says her sister was assaulted by Epstein and his now convicted co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell as an adult when the two were visiting Wexner in Ohio in 1996. Also a survivor of Epstein and Maxwell's abuse at 16 years old, Annie tells me she doesn't believe Wexner's denials.
Sure. Epstein is a con man. Was there some element of con that perhaps also related to, Wexner? Sure. But I don't think that means that he had no idea what was going on and he was not a participant in some way.
A Wexner spokesperson telling ABC News in response, the billionaire, quote, never even heard of Maria Farmer until her account surfaced in the media, and in a separate statement saying Wexner reiterated to lawmakers he had, quote, no knowledge and did not participate in Epstein's illegal conduct.
We are suffering the consequences of their own actions.
This is crazy.
Because they roped us all in.
Crazy.
Unaware.
That we're funding these companies that was funding this crazy things happening.
And then in return, look at what it's done to the society.
Look at the mess they made.
They've made a huge mess. And not even just that. A small country in some place that still doesn't have is rooted yet, is busy controlling.
Crazy. This is a crazy, oh my God, crazy time and scary times.
Answer the question.
Okay. A discrete question on a different topic. We know that at one point you owned a property in Palm Beach. It was a large oceanfront estate. We understand that you sold that estate to a guy named Abe Gossman, and that later Mr. Trump and Mr. Epstein got into a bidding war over that property. Do you have any knowledge of, or did you have any involvement in that dispute between Mr. Epstein and Mr. Trump?
No.
Les Wexner. Victoria's Secret got a secret.
I think I'll stop at the Victoria's Secret.
Oh my God.
And every man must account for his actions.
I'd like to touch on a few specific allegations that have been made with respect to Mr. Epstein's crimes. Maria Farmer has been discussed several times today. I'll try not to repeat that too much, but there are a few aspects of her story that I did want to touch on with you. Ms. Farmer has said that the home that we've discussed, you said Mr. Kessler sold it to Mr. Epstein, it's adjacent to your property. Ms. Farmer has said that that home at the time was guarded by your security staff. And at least one member of your security staff told the Washington Post that that was accurate, at least at the time, which I think was 1996. Do you have any sense of why this home, that at that point was not on your property and wasn't your home, would have been guarded by your security staff?
Objection to the hearsay, but answer.
No.
Do you have any knowledge as to whether or not the home was guarded by your security staff, either then or now?
Then for sure not. My daughter lives there now with her husband, so I'm sure they pay attention to it, but I don't know for sure that, because it's part of the family, that they pay attention to it, but that's as close as I can get.
When it was owned by Mr. Kessler and Mr. Epstein, you have no knowledge of whether or not it was guarded by your security staff?
I have no knowledge. I would doubt that.
So this is like a 4 hours deposition. You guys should go check it out. It's on PBS. Victoria's Secret got a secret.
Mm-hmm. And he's still being denial about it. He's still trying to dance around it and all that, knowing fully well that your actions is what we're all suffering today.
It's crazy times.
Wexner, who founded the parent company of Victoria's Secret, was listed as a co-conspirator of Epstein in a 2019 FBI document. Alleged Epstein victim Virginia Giuffre also named Wexner as one of the men she was trafficked to decades ago as a teenager.
The real reason Jeffrey Epstein was able to get away with raping and abusing children, young women, boys, young men for so many years was because of the vast amounts of money that he was able to acquire, and that largely came from Les Wexner.
In his opening statement to the committee, Wexner said he was not a participant or co-conspirator to Epstein's crimes. He also stated, "I was naive, foolish, and gullible to put any trust in Jeffrey Epstein. He was a con man, and while I was conned, I have done nothing wrong and have nothing to hide." Numerous other famous men, including President Trump, are listed in the millions of pages of Epstein files released by the Justice Department.
I've been exonerated. I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein.
Bill Clinton was also in the files and vehemently denies wrongdoing as well.
What you guys think about Les Wexner's deposition? About the E-files? Is it helpful? Is it okay for him to just come out and there's no follow-up? What's going on? What you guys think should be the follow-up of this? Should there be more investigations? Should there be more questions? Drop a comment and let us know if you're new to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe.
We're out of here now.
See you guys in the next one. JEJE Vibe.
It's JEJE Vibe.
Crazy times. Crazy times. Victoria's Secret got a secret. Victoria's Secret got a secret.